Why do I run so many businesses? Okay, so I recently heard about how some people are criticizing me for running so many businesses, and the thought is that if any one of my business was already successful, why do I need to have more than one? Or people are assuming that my handmade jewelry business is not very successful, and because of that, that's why I started my coaching business, Creative Hive. In this video, I'm going to share with you why, and why you might even want to consider this for yourself in the future with your own handmade business and self-employed lifestyle. My name is May, and I help makers, artists, and designers make a consistent income from selling their handmade products online. So I'm making this video for you in part because I want to explain why, and also because I think this critique raises a really important point that it seems like not very many people understand. And I think it's a very vital ingredient in your life if you are self-employed. So for those of you guys who are new to my channel, my very first business is called Tiny Hands, where I sell scented food jewelry. I've been running that for 14 years now as of the recording of this video, and then in 2014 I started Creative Hive. And about 3 years ago, I started acting, which is in itself, I would definitely consider a business as well. I have to fill my own Schedule C for my acting business. You know, I make money from acting, and I definitely also have a lot of expenses with regards to acting, like with acting classes, getting headshots done with a photographer, and so on. And finally, my husband and I also started a new online website where we sell print-on-demand, personalized art for the family. We only just started this a few months ago and it's already made 6 figures in sales. So I currently have 4 businesses that I run, and I'm always looking for the next thing to start. I was actually thinking the other day of starting a marketplace site similar to Etsy, but keeping it very small and focused with a theme, and I would get together some artists that I really respect to sell their products on the site, and I just handle all of the marketing and promotion. Anyway, it's just an idea for now. I'm not making any promises or big plans yet. My husband and I also rent out our home to film production companies so they can produce movies and commercials using our house. The biggest and most important reason why I run so many different businesses at once is because of diversification. When you're working for someone else at a regular 9-to-5 office job, you get the huge benefit of getting paid a salary. Every 2 weeks you get paid a certain amount, and that never changes. That's a predictable income, and unfortunately, when you're self-employed and running your own business, you don't get to have that luxury. As a small business owner, you are solely responsible of making sales and finding customers. How much money you make and the income you bring in from your business is solely and completely dependent on you. Another super challenging aspect of running a business is you can't predict when a customer is going to buy from you. And even if you're an established business, you will inevitably experience slow months with less sales and really good ones with great sales. Over time, you will become familiar with which months those are for your business. For most of us selling handmade products, we usually do as much sales in the 4th quarter of the year as the entire first 3 quarters. That's because most shopping happens over the holiday season when people are buying gifts. This is exactly why a lot of people call running a business like a roller coaster. There are lots of ups and downs, and there's very little predictability. But this is something that a lot of makers crave: stability and being able to make a consistent income. There are a few ways to do that, such as with creating a subscription product where you make a recurring income every month, or offering payment plans if you sell something a little more high-end, or creating more reasons for your customers to make repeat orders with you. But another really great way of doing that is simply to diversify your income streams. You can diversify within your business or outside of it. An example of diversifying within your business is with not putting all your eggs in just one basket. For example, a lot of people put all their eggs in the Etsy basket, and so the problem is when Etsy changes their algorithm and it impacts you negatively, then you're stuck and you feel the pain so much more because you have no other option. How I diversified within my handmade business is I have many different streams of income. For example, I sell a subscription product called Necklace of the Month Club. I sell my products wholesale to brick and mortar stores. I sell on marketplace sites like Etsy and Amazon, as well as on my own website. When your business is diversified, you'll experience less of a roller coaster in your business, and you can make a much more predictable, reliable income. It's amazing because it takes a lot of the stress away from running a business. This is because when certain income streams are experiencing slower sales, it's likely that other streams are doing better, so it evens itself out. Like when wholesale orders are doing really well for me, that's usually around summertime because people are out and about and shopping in actual physical stores and spending less time at home shopping online. So in my experience, physical stores like to stock up on products over the summertime for that reason. But summertime sales for my online side is a lot slower than the holiday season. But overall, my income isn't really affected by the constant ebb and flow because of this diversification. And then diversification outside of your business is again with having different income streams beyond your single business. For example, with Creative Hive, I usually don't get that great sales for the holiday season, but I do really well in the first half of the year. But that's okay because Tiny Hands does really well in the last quarter of the year. So it works itself out. It's just like if you were investing in the stock market. Financial experts will tell you that diversification in your portfolio is super important. It will certainly take you time to build out that diversification, and honestly, my husband and I are still working on it. It's taken us 10 years to get to where we are now, and we're still constantly thinking of ways to build our wealth and invest our money in different ways. For example, my husband is experimenting with Bitcoin, and we've been talking about getting into real estate as well as possibly even offering private loans to other small businesses to help kickstart their own projects. Diversification is what will make you recession and pandemic proof. Having said all of that, if you're a creative person like me, you'll know that creative people are often multi-passionate and enjoy doing a lot of different things. I've always been like that. I always like challenging myself with the next thing. That gives me a lot of fulfillment personally, and I was always very competitive even when I was little. I get like a really great sense of achievement when I can do something well. And I don't know if you guys have ever done the Strengths Finder test, which tells you what your top 5 strengths are, but one of my top 5 is achiever. That's just something that really drives me as a person and at my core. But it can be a double-edged sword because sometimes I don't know when to stop trying to achieve something, and that can really stress me out. But I think that's why when I'm quote-unquote done with making one business successful, I get excited to think about the next business I get to start. I've actually met a lot of creatives like that, where you're not just a jeweler, but you're also a painter and a musician. I think that's what defines creative people, is that you're not just creative in one facet, but with multiple different things in your life. But then the challenge with most creatives with multiple passions have is they're trying to start one business that encompasses all of those passions, and that's not always the best idea. So I could have just one business selling all the different products and services I sell, but it probably will not go so well. I'm not going to talk about when it would make sense for you to have a separate second shop, since that's outside the scope of this video, but if you're interested to know that, leave me a comment below and I'll make a video for that in the future. Number 3, if anything, having multiple businesses is just super fun for me. I enjoy it, I love the variety and the different things I get to work on every day. I understand some people prefer having a routine in their day-to-day life, and that brings them comfort. And I'm like that to a certain extent, but I also really value a little bit more variety in my life. If you listen to or follow Tony Robbins, you know he talks about the concept of the 6 human needs, which includes certainty, variety, love, connection, contribution, and growth. So it's totally just a basic human desire to want to have a little bit of spice in your life. And you know, my husband and I, we don't drink or do drugs or party, and we're not thrill seekers. Like, we don't go on exotic vacation adventures or go bungee jumping. But this running different businesses is in itself interesting, challenging, and fun, and ultimately very fulfilling for me. And I mean, a person likes what a person likes, right? We're all entitled to enjoy and appreciate what we do, and it just seems absurd to me that someone else would criticize you for what you choose to love. I may not share your opinion of something, but I can at least acknowledge, respect, and accept your opinion. So if you don't have any diversification in your business and life right now, that's okay. This isn't something that you learn about in school, and I doubt most parents are teaching this to their kids. And diversification is something you really only see the benefits of over the long term, because each new stream of income you establish will take time for you to create any meaningful amount of money from. But as long as you're thinking about it now and you're aware that this is something you need to do eventually, you will start to make plans and design your future with the goal of diversifying your income streams. If you enjoyed this video, please keep in mind that this was totally free for you to watch. Please take 3 seconds to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and give this video a thumbs up. Stay on to watch this next video on the screen for more handmade business tips.